Very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Shashwat Krishna, and I'm a final year MBA student here at SIDTM Pune. I'm a BTech in Information Technology, post which I joined SIDTM last year as a fresher. I completed my summer internship here at SIDTM at a US-based SaaS delivery organization as a market research intern. I also have my colleague Shweta present here with me tonight.
Hello, everyone. Good evening to you all present in the live here. My name is Shweta Mishra, and I'm also a final year student at Symbiosis Institute of Digital and Telecom Management, Pune. I have completed my graduation in BBA, post which I joined SIDTM as a fresher. Here I'm pursuing the marketing and finance specialization, and the journey so far has been tremendously well. During my summers, I interned as a digital marketing intern with a business consulting firm, and being a fresher, that was my first ever corporate exposure.
Thank you, Shweta. The aim of this webinar is to help aspirants gain a little more clarity about the SNAP exam, considering the fact that there are only 45 days left for the first lot to begin. With the entrance exam season just around the corner, we are here to ensure all of you receive all the necessary information that will enable you to crack SNAP 2022. The SNAP exam pattern was revised in the year 2020. The total time duration, the total number of questions, the total maximum marks were reduced. There were no special, that is, non-MCQ questions before after SNAP 2020. SNAP 2022 will also be prepared along the same pattern.
Now, coming to the important dates for this year's SNAP, the first attempt is on 10th of December. Date for the second attempt is 18th December, and for the third attempt is 23rd December. The maximum number of attempts for SNAP this year is 3. Now, the marking scheme for SNAP 2022 is as follows. For each right answer, 1 mark will be awarded. For each wrong answer, 1/4 of total marks per question will be deducted. There is no negative marking for any unanswered questions.
Talking about the different sections that are present in the SNAP exam, it is more or less similar to CAT. There are 3 sections: verbal ability and reading comprehension, logical reasoning, and quantitative ability. So talking about verbal ability, the thing is that before SNAP 2020, there were reading comprehension questions present. Now, after SNAP 2020, there are absolutely no reading comprehension questions that are asked. But we would urge you to not take that lightly. It is very much possible that reading comprehension could just spring up on you and take you by surprise. It is better to be prepared than be caught by surprise. So verbal ability. These are some tips that we would like to share for you in regards to verbal ability and reading comprehension section. Now, this section of SNAP is divided into 3 parts. RC, as I mentioned, optional, verbal reasoning, and verbal ability. During the exam preparation phase, you must lay stress on reading comprehension and vocabulary. Now, reading comprehension will not only increase your comprehension abilities, but also would help you gain a better grasp on your grammar. That would, and how would you achieve that? By developing a habit of reading long and dense passages. You must read newspapers, the editorial section specifically, books, novels, and business magazines. Try to set a target and learn new words every day. That would help in increasing your vocabulary. Books like Word Pie Made Easy by Norman Lewis will be very helpful for chiseling your vocab knowledge and your grammar knowledge as well. Start going through the fundamentals of basic English grammar from books like Wren and Martin. That would help you in sentence reorganizations questions.
Now, coming to the logical reasoning section, this section of the exam will have questions based on graphs, bars, pie charts, visual reasoning, cause and effect, coding, decoding, puzzles, etc. The key to perform well in this section is enough practice and the ability to choose the right question. Since the questions will be logic-based, you need to develop eye for detail. Practice as many questions as you can and of different varieties as well. You need to solve puzzles, riddles, brain teasers to develop speed and difficulty level of questions for this section. Even though SNAP is a speed-based exam, accuracy should be taken to the front seat, particularly in this section, to score well? Well, coming to my experience, I was very much interested in solving the LR questions since I liked solving analytical and critical thinking questions. My favorite questions, or rather my strengths, were from syllogisms, caselets, blood relations, and coding decoding. I remember I had taken the least time to solve the LR section for my paper because of how comfortable I was in solving this section. I had given 2 attempts, and in both the attempts, LR was the easiest for me.
Now, contrary to popular belief, not all engineers are good at maths. Quantitative aptitude was my weakest section. Still, I managed to score my highest sectional marks in that section itself. I'll be sharing a few of my personal tips here. Now, this section will be an amalgamation of calculation-based and logic-based questions. So the best approach for preparation of this section of SNAP 2022 is being very thorough with the shortcuts, the theorems, and the formulas. The main thing here is to grab the concept of the question. You may not be very well versed with maths, or you may not have a very high degree of experience in solving maths-based questions. But if your concepts are solid, your basics are strong, then I don't believe there is any question in SNAP 2022 which you can't solve. You can set timers to solve different varieties of quant questions and check your speed. As Shweta mentioned, a lot of SNAP is primarily a speed and accuracy based exam. Setting a timer would actually be very good for you. Also, solving previous year's quant questions will give you a rough idea about the difficulty level, and accordingly, you can work on your weaker areas. That will help you to identify your weak areas, areas that you need to work on, and areas that can be left untouched completely by you. Don't waste time on those. Always remember to keep the formula sheet handy and keep on revising it very regularly. Now, that was all that we had to say about the SNAP exam. But so now there are exactly 42 days left for the first slot of SNAP to begin. That means 41 days of preparations and studies to go. However, we advise you to rest and revise your formulas on the 9th of December. That is one day prior to the exam. Don't stress your mind. I understand that most of you might want to cram questions and attempt mocks on the last day as well. But we sincerely believe that it is the wrong part to go on. I mean, having a well-rested mind and body before such an intensive exam is extremely essential. Now, in CAT and other OMETs, you get a lot of time to actually get into the zone of mock, given the exam data. But in SNAP, you won't even realize the timer has started and you're losing 1 minute per question approximately at a speed that you can't even imagine. So it's very important to have a well-rested mind and body.
I will now take you through what your timeline will look like through the duration of the 3 slots that SNAP has to offer. The first exam is scheduled to be held on December 10th, followed by the second slot on December 18th. That is a gap of 7 days. In these 7 days, we advise you to go through the exam paper and pattern of the previous slot. There will be videos available on YouTube discussing the exam paper and the difficulty level as well. It is also essential to brush up on the topics that you found were difficult or too time consuming for you in the first attempt. And most importantly, we advise you to attempt mocks, analyze them, and revise your formulas as well. The third and final slot of SNAP 2022 is on December 23rd, which gives you a gap of 4 days before the final push. The time to go through new topics has passed now, and all that should be done now is revision and mocks. You know what, Sashwat? Since I had attempted the paper twice during my time, the first time was very stressful for me. Just before the first attempt, I was very worried about the change in pattern as well as my level of preparation. Even though I had attempted enough number of mocks and I was pretty confident about my preparations, a tiny part of me was super nervous. I listened to soothing music, meditated for some time, freed my mind of all the ifs and buts and last minute prep to calm myself. So guys, it is very natural to feel nervous and think that you can cover some more topics in the last few days. But please do not start anything new. Instead, we advise you to just keep revising the ones that you have already studied.
As Shweta mentioned, it is very natural for all of you to feel worried. I mean, it's an MBA entrance exam. It is one of the toughest exams that India has to offer. But you must remain calm in those days, especially in the night before your exam. Now, but guys, you must remember that analyzing mocks properly is as important as attempting them in the first place. Now, a proper analysis will ensure a boost in your score, as you can easily identify the areas which are your strong suits, your weak areas, and your red zone areas, the areas which you must not go into across all the three sections. That is what a full length mock does for you. Sectional mocks are important to build up confidence, but it's the full length mocks that actually get you in the zone of actually attempting the SNAP exam. Familiarizing yourself with the pattern of the exam and the expected level of difficulty would obviously prove to be a game changer on the D-Day. Managing your time and improving your strategies for the exam day is also essential.
As Shashwat has already mentioned about the importance of analyzing mocks, now let us talk about how to analyze them. You can analyze the mocks in two different ways: section-wise analysis as well as analysis of the entire papers as and when you keep solving them year-wise. So under section-wise analysis, we suggest you decide which section is more time taking for you. Giving you my example, the data interpretation questions were easy for me to tackle, but of course they were very time taking. Second, you can look into those questions which are heavy on calculations and require a lot of formulas that you need to remember for the questions to be solved. According to your level of comfort in dealing with these questions, you can evaluate yourself. Third comes practice-based questions like logical reasoning, where you cannot get away without solving an adequate number of questions to get acquainted with this section. Now, when you solve the entire paper, we recommend you to evaluate yourself, keeping in mind speed, accuracy, level of difficulty, level of practice, and then arrive at relevant conclusions. Certain papers will be easy, but more time taking. Certain papers will be very difficult, and you would require more practice to solve them. According to your strengths, you can consider which section is easier or more difficult for you to solve, and accordingly allocate more or less time for those sections.
So, as Shweta already said, there'll be very many different kinds of mocks, right? Now, in some mocks, you might score a 90 plus percentile. In some mocks, you might score a bit lower, but don't let that hamper your preparation. The ultimate aim of giving mocks is to improve yourself and analyze, basically categorize the areas which you must attempt, which you're confident about, and which should be left completely behind. Now, that was all that we had to say about the SNAP exam. We were getting a lot of queries about SIDTM in general, the niche MBA that is offered. To clear out a few of them, let me take all of you through the specializations offered by SIDTM. The three streams offered here are systems, analytics, and marketing. You'll notice a single common point in all the three specializations here: finance. Because we at SIDTM very firmly believe that finance is the backbone of all managerial functions. Hence, it is a compulsory minor across all the streams. Now let's go through the courses offered as part of these specializations to make it a little clearer. Now, systems and finance offers subjects like IT strategy, cloud-based architecture, telecom subjects, IT service management. Analytics has programming in Python, database technology, data mining, visualization of data. Now, I understand that this may be a little daunting for the non-engineers out there, but the programming subjects here are actually preceded by certain bridge courses. Now, these bridge courses actually work to ensure that everyone is at the same level before any specific specialization is allotted. Coming to marketing, as the name suggests, it has subjects like consumer behavior, brand management, customer relationship management. Now, the good thing about SIDTM is that they also offer certain value-added programs. This is the list of value-added programs offered here at SIDTM. Digital risk management, digital transformation, robotic automation process by UiPath. We have a collaboration with UiPath. We have a certain lab, and we actually get to attempt actual certifications by UiPath based on RPA, which I don't think is offered across many colleges here. We'll talk a bit about the placement stats of SIDTM now.
Yes. So SIDTM believes in the holistic development of the students, and that reflects on the placement statistics. Coming to summer placements, statistics for batch 2021 to 2023, highest stipend offered was 1,60,000. Average top 25 was 90,980. Average top 15 was 75,250. Now coming to the final placements for the batch 2020 to 2022. Highest package offered was 29.04 lakh per annum. Average top 25, 19.66 lakh per annum. Batch average stood at 11.63 lakh per annum. SIDTM also has a long list of recruiters from various domains and industries like IT, ITES, marketing, consulting, telecom, and many more, some of which are listed on the screen. And for more information, you can go to our official website to check the entire list. The link of the same is given in the description box below.
I think that's all that we had to say in this webinar. We'll be opening the floor for questions now. So Shweta, you're in marketing and finance, right?
Yeah.
But the MBA is digital and telecom management. How does that blend in for you?
So I came to SIDTM keeping in mind since since the world is moving towards digital, Web 3.0 is coming, Industrial Revolution 4.0 is happening, hyper automation is happening. So I read a lot of articles and came across white papers of the Big Four, and that is when I developed interest in the digital domain. And since I already have the management aspect, because I've done BBA. So I wanted to explore the digital aspect of the industry, since any role in the industry does not just involve functional aspect or the technological aspect. Now it has blended into functional as well as the technological aspects. So teach like all the subjects that we have here relating to technology, may it be IoT, hyper automation, or RPA, is well blended with the subjects that we have here in marketing, may it be brand management or digital marketing or market research and analytics. So it works quite well for me. And also it helped me a lot during my summer internship, where I was an intern. I was a digital marketing intern in a business consulting organization. So yeah.
So being an engineer myself, an MBA DTM was more or less the natural choice for me, right? Not exactly an extension of an engineering degree, but yeah, it did help me to explore my prior technical knowledge and explore the managerial aspects in it. Getting to questions.
So Prakhar Gupta has asked, I find logical reasoning difficult. How do I solve LR? Prakhar, I must suggest, what helped for me, I did an extensive research on all the kinds of questions that SNAP offers. I also tried to solve LOD 1 and 2 of CAT questions for LR to chisel my analytical and critical thinking for SNAP. A lot of practice goes into place in order to score well and to become comfortable around the questions. You can solve puzzles, brain teasers to find your way around it.
Okay, so we have a question from Ashwin Seni. How many questions should I attend to find a good college? Now, Ashwin, that depends on your definition of what a good college actually is. I can tell you about the percentiles and the number of questions that must be attempted correctly to achieve that percentile. A rough correlation, because since the official cutoffs of colleges are not really released by the university, we'll give you a rough approach. So I think a 45 plus score would be good enough for, let's say, around a bracket of 90 plus percentile. Now, how do you achieve that? obviously, to answer that, you'll have to be very confident and very thorough with all the answers that you give. You can't afford to keep on losing marks in negative marking. So if you're aiming for that bracket, that percentile bracket, then focus more on accuracy.
Aniket Bera is asking which section is it advisable to attend first? So Aniket, this is a very subjective question. First of all, everybody has their own strength and weaknesses, and all I can say about this question is please play by your strengths. For me, logical reasoning and English were the easiest to deal with. So and also there was a lot of practice that was involved for me to become comfortable around logical reasoning. Quants was where I lagged. I tried solving logical reasoning first, and that took the least amount of time. And then I came to English, and last to quants. So my strategy was to I would allot 15 minutes for each section, and then the last 15 minutes was allotted to solve all those questions that I may have flagged or which I was unsure of. So it is completely subjective. You need to play by your strength and choose your section wisely, because each minute in Snap is essential. You cannot lose even a single second, even a single minute, because it's a speed-based exam after all.
So Prakhar has a question about blood relationship type questions. Now, Prakhar, actually the blood relation questions are the most scoring part of Snap. If you look at it objectively, all that you have to do is make a family tree, use different levels of hierarchy for each generation, and use different denotations to let you know who's a male member, who's a female member. So generations, hierarchy, and a family tree. You'll be done with it. SIDTM also provides mocks to help aspirants prepare. So if you're willing for that, you can sign up. There will be a link in the description soon. And so we'll also provide you answers and how to solve each type of questions there. I think it'll be helpful for you.
Also, adding to what Shashwat said, for blood relation, you can create symbols, specific to male and female, son, daughter, and try to link it with the family tree that you draw. Coming to the next question, Ashwini, just a second. Ashwini is asking any idle time to solve question. Ashwini, first of all, Snap is a speed-based question, 60 questions for within 60 minutes. So ideally 1 minute for each question, but since there are logical reasoning questions and quants, wherein you need to calculate and find the answer. So those questions will require a bit more of your time. So here also you need to play by your strength and solve certain English questions which do not require much of your time. Say for example, vocabulary, synonyms and antonyms. It's whether you know the answer or you don't know the answer. You know the word or you don't know the word. You cannot waste your time thinking about the probable meanings of those words, right? So if you know the answer, well and good, mark it. If you don't know, then you can skip and move on to the next questions, which may take up much of your time. So divide the sections according to your strengths and weaknesses, and allocate time very, very wisely.
I think what you can do is allot a certain upper limit to each question. Now, since there are 60 questions in 60 minutes, you can't do it. It's not as simple as giving a minute to each question. You won't have any time to backtrack. Give it a time of, let's say, 30 to 40 seconds, around whatever is comfortable for you. If you can't solve the question in that allotted time, just move forward. That will give you almost half an hour to 20 minutes to backtrack and do the entire paper again. I think that would work to maximize your score a lot. Now, Srishti has a question on how many mocks should we give? Srishti, as many as possible. Okay, because mocks are very subjective. The outputs that you get from each mock are very different. As I said, Some mocks may be easy, some mocks may be difficult, some mocks will boost up your confidence, some mocks will demotivate you. That is why attempt as many mocks as possible. It'll give you a lot of room to actually understand yourself, categorize each section, the red zones and the green zones, the yellow zones and all. Just do as many as possible, do it till the second last day. On the last day, just rest.
Okay, so Snehal Sharma is asking the next question. Can a student with an engineering background manage finance as a minor? Are there bridge classes for that as well? Snehal, when I had joined SIDTM, since I come from BBA background, so finance was not a big deal for me. Technology was. So here, before the main curriculum commences, there are bridge classes, both for technical as well as non-technical students, where the technical students are taught finance and the non-technical students are taught technology or telecom rather. And the professors here are excellent with over 20 plus years of teaching experience, and they will polish all your basic fundamentals and clear all the doubts. And moreover, your peers are there to help you with it. All the technical students can help the non-technical students, and the non-technical students can help the technical students to learn. So yeah, it is not a big deal to crack finance as a minor, even if you're from an engineering background.
So I'm from a technical background. I had no knowledge of finance whatsoever. I had never studied any subject. I didn't even know the terminology of finance, right? Now, the bridge classes that Shweta mentioned about were actually very beneficial. I actually felt at the end of the bridge classes, before the actual classes even started, I felt at par with, let's say, Shweta. She's from a managerial background. She had a very deep knowledge about finance. I had a deep knowledge about technology. The same way, Shweta was weak in technologies. Shweta was getting continuous bridge classes to bring her at par to me. I was getting continuous bridge classes to bring me at par with Shweta. That is how it all worked out.
Now, Vishwajit Singh has another question. Would telecom subjects be difficult for commerce background students? Vishwajit, I just mentioned that we have bridge classes before the main course begins. So telecom subjects are taught from the very basic, and all the fundamentals are cleared. It will not be easy as such, but all your doubts, all the fears that the non-technical people have regarding telecom subjects will for sure lessen to a certain extent.
So I'm also a BTech in information technology. I had absolutely no prior knowledge of telecom again. So if you look at it objectively, I was facing a double-edged sword. I had no knowledge about finance. I had no knowledge about telecom. Again, the bridge classes to the rescue. That is how all of us functioned. And believe me, before the classes actually started, all of us started from the same level. There was no differentiation from anyone who was, let's say, from an electronics and telecommunication background to an IT guy to a managerial guy. It's all the same. So Mohini has a question. Any advice for a student coming from a non-technical background enrolling into SIDTM? Again, we have a very diverse batch here. We have a lot of people who excel in different areas. Some of them may excel in finance, some of them may excel in technology, some others may excel in telecom. So these are the three areas that SIDTM focuses on. Now, since there's a batch of 160 students and almost 40 faculty members who are very supportive to any person, I think a mixture of all of those brings everyone at the same level. And there is actually no one that is ahead of a certain person. No one lags behind. It's all a very healthy atmosphere.
Now, Prakhar Gupta has a question. How do I ensure that I finish all verbal ability questions with maximum accuracy? Prakhar, verbal ability will depend on how much of grammar rules you know. For that, I would suggest you please go through Renan Martin. It's a great book on the basic fundamentals of English grammar. and also Word Power Made Easy by Norman Lewis can help you with your vocabulary. And as Shashwat had already mentioned, set a target of learning one new word, or maybe as per your comfort level, 4 to 5 new words per day. So as per my experience, I learned 5 new words every day from the dictionary, beginning from A to Z. And of course, I could not retain everything, but still, it quite helped me with understanding the basic vocab, and it also chiseled my vocab know-how. And coming to accuracy, so Prakhar, accuracy is basically meant for the logical reasoning and math section. In English, it completely depends on your strength and how much of grammar rules and vocabulary knowledge you possess. So in English, I must say speed matters more than accuracy, but in the rest of the two sections, accuracy will matter. Accuracy as well as speed will matter.
I think with regards to the verbal section, eventually it all boils down to how strong your language section is.
Yeah.
Very straightforward thing to say. But anyway, now if you read a lot, particularly the editorial sections of the newspaper, you would notice that they are very long and dense paragraphs with a lot of heavy vocab words. Now, if you read those, automatically, not only your vocabulary gets better, your grammar rules, you get clearer on your grammar rules, you get clearer on your tenses, you gain much more confidence in sentence formation. So eventually it all boils down to reading. Right? It'll help you in solving written questions. It'll help you in improving your spoken English skills.
Okay, so Abhishek Kumar Jha has a question. Where can we find mocks for SNAP? Could you please guide us? Thank you. So Abhishek, we provide free mocks to students. The link of the mock is given in the description box below. Please fill the form, and you will be getting mocks at certain intervals, as well as the answers for the same.
There are also a lot of queries about finance being a compulsory minor. So, Prakhar, as I said, finance is the backbone of all managerial functions. If you're an MBA, eventually it all boils down to cost cutting, improving your profit margin, all of those financial terms, right? That is why finance is compulsory across the specializations. No matter where you excel, be it systems, be it analytics, be it marketing, eventually, if you don't know the finances of it, if you don't know the business outcomes which come along through what you're actually doing, then what is the point of doing a business, right? That is the reason finance is compulsory.
So Sashwat, I have a question for you. How is your experience when you were appearing for the SNAP exam, and how many attempts did you give? Were you nervous, or like, just before entering the center? How did you tackle it, and what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses when it comes to the 3 sections? Can you please share your experience with all of us?
So I gave 2 attempts for SNAP because till last year we were allowed to give only 2 out of the 3 attempts, right? Now, during my first attempt, what I did was I attempted a mock right before I actually appeared for the exam.
Okay.
Now, I thought that would help me. I don't know why I thought that, but that actually made me tired. I went into the exam hall and maybe I was overconfident, I guess, because I just attempted a mock. It'll be the same paper, but no. The mock that I attempted was actually very subpar, right? It boosted my confidence, but it kind of deteriorated my performance in the real exam. That is what happened for me. Now, verbal ability would have been my strong suit. But as I said, I ended up scoring more in quants, again, because of the mocks. The second attempt was good. I rested the night before, and it was actually very easy. It was very relaxing for me.
So same, my experience was quite similar. I did not attempt a mock right before the exam, but for me, keeping my mind at peace and not taking up newer topics to revise or to begin helped a lot. And my second attempt was better than my first one. And because of that, so I analyzed the first attempt quite well, and I understood how should I improve on it and improvise my ways and my strategies accordingly. So my second attempt was better than the first one.
Exactly. So analysis of your previous actual attempt of the exam is as important as analyzing the mocks. Since all the papers are set by the university itself, you can actually expect a similar level of difficulty across all the exams, all the slots, right? That's why it all boils down to analysis when it comes to mocks and appearing for exams.
So guys, reiterating it again, the link for the mocks is provided in the description box below. Please fill it to get free mocks at various intervals, as well as the answers.
So SIDTM is a completely student-driven college. We have a lot of committees, clubs, and other boards that students can join and help in the actual functioning of SIDTM. Shweta, would you like to talk about your experience in a student-driven college?
Yeah, so when I joined SIDTM, I was looking forward to being a part of a committee or a club, and you know, helping my own self as well as the college to you know, in their working. So the process was very rigorous when we were you know, given to choose our preferences. The entire interview process, or maybe the task allocation process, it was very rigorous, very hectic, but at the end of it, it was an overall amazing experience with the seniors. And I think you know, after the committee selection or the club selection process, the seniors and the juniors were you know, that fear that the juniors had for the seniors, it lessened, and then we became friends with the seniors, and ensured that we work together to help SIDTM as an institute. How was your experience?
So as you mentioned, it was pretty rigorous, but the outcome actually did a lot for me. As I said, I'm a BTech fresher. I had absolutely no experience of actually working in the corporate world, right? Now, being a part of a committee or a club or a board actually gives you a lot of exposure, because these places are meant to mimic corporate behavior exactly. That is how you increase your professionalism. That is how you chisel your personality. That is how you gain confidence, rather. So we have a question like, how many permutation and combination questions can we guys expect? I'm so sorry. So a certain topic cannot be relied on, right? If you think that permutations and combinations are not your strong suit, it is perfectly normal to just leave that topic away. Or if you're very confident about it, just do it, revise it, then forget about it. Since the papers are set by the university and there is no set definite pattern about what kind of questions and the number of questions that we can expect in on a certain topic, nothing of that sort is released by the university, right? So it is just ideal to be thorough with all the possible sections that you can get questions from. We made a video, you can probably find it on our channel also, about the types of different sections where you can expect questions from. Talking about reading comprehension again, we have not had a reading comprehension question in the last few years, but that doesn't mean that an IC question can't come in SNAP 2022. It might. There's no idea about it. It's better to be thorough with all the subjects. And even if you're not very thorough, talking about PNC in general, just revising the formulas would work. As I said, SNAP focuses on your speed and your accuracy, not a very in-depth knowledge of a certain topic. Be thorough with the formulas, be thorough with the concept, and I'm pretty sure any question can be solved.
We have another question from Prakhar Gupta. How many times can we give Snap this year? So Prakhar, I have mentioned it before. It is 3 times this year. Maximum attempts are 3 times, as against last year, which was 2 times.
Where can yeah.
Continue.
No, please go ahead.
No, I was just about to ask you your experience since, like, it has been a year and a half on the in SIDTM, and 1 year off campus and another year on campus. What has been your best experience so far?
I think the best experience was the student-driven culture here at SIDTM. As I said, there are many different committees, 14 different committees, 6 different clubs, and 2 different boards that you can be a part of. Every aspect of SIDTM is run by our students only. Right? I think the best experience for me was being a part of such a group of people where I could interact with my seniors, I could interact with my juniors. I gained a lot of perspective from it.
For me, I think apart from academics and committee or club work, we have a lot of cultural events that happen here, maybe the Rang Manch that happened this year, or how we celebrated Holi last year, how we celebrated Diwali this year, and all the other cultural events that happened, and how we had the first ever investiture ceremony of SIDTM, where we recognized all the amazing work that various committees and clubs have been doing for taking SIDTM's legacy forward. I think this was my best experience so far, and I think it has been tremendously well. Joining SIDTM was the best decision so far.
Exactly. It's the perfect blend of professionalism and fun when it comes to SIDTM, right? Where can we find mocks for Snap, or is there a link for the mocks? Guys, there will be a link in the description box soon. You can register in the Google form. SIDTM actually makes mocks that are verified by Snap toppers from the previous years. You sign up for it. We'll send you mocks. We'll send you answer keys. We'll host sessions to help you with those mocks. All of that could be done just by filling the form in the description.
So Shashwat, I think we have answered almost all the questions we have received, and we are good to conclude the session for today. Guys, if you wish to receive free mocks, updates about Snap 2022, or are just seeking mentoring in general, please do fill the form in the description box as mentioned by Shashwat. Our mentors will make earnest attempts to ensure you receive all the help and guidance you're seeking for.
We hope the session was beneficial for you. Thank you. And if you want more updates about Snap and SIDTM in general, do not forget to follow us on our social media handles. You'll find all the links in the description box below. Thank you. That's all from us today.